concerned about, though, Tim, I want to talk about this a little bit, is the red zone efficiency. We showed the rankings the other day. The Packers are pretty much top 10 in just about every important category, right? So then you look up and go, well, why are we struggling in key situations where we're maybe not getting over the hump against a team like Cleveland or Carolina, where you should have won those ball games and you were in them all the way to the end, right? You had a chance when one score game. So red zone efficiency is one of those things that really does come into play. This is all also a part of the game plan article we just told you about. So let's talk about offensive red zone scoring, okay? When it comes to offensive red zone scoring and this matchup against Philly, Philly's the best in the league, Tim. And keep in mind, this is scoring percentage, okay? When they get in the red zone, this is the percentage in which they score touchdowns, okay? I love this statistic because it removes the chip shot field goal. The heck with that. I want to know how efficient someone is at scoring touchdowns once they get into the red zone, right? When you get to a 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line, all right, how efficient are you at getting the ball into the end zone? Anybody can kick that field goal, right? So sometimes when you just take the overall points in red zone and red zone efficiency and you include the field goals, sometimes what can happen there, Tim, is you have an explosive play on offense, a 35-yard pass that gets you inside the 20, and then you have to settle for a field goal, and that looks positive because you got points in the red zone. No. The goal is to punch it in. Keep in mind, we're taking the field goal 9 times out of 10. Me personally, I'm a boring fan in that regard. I'm not saying you should go for it on 4th down inside the 20. I'm simply saying I love how this removes the extra information. But you see, Philly in 2025, 85% success rate on scoring touchdowns when they're inside the 20, once they reach inside the 20. The Packers are 11th at 62%. This doesn't worry me on Green Bay's side. You're right around top 10. It can be better, and it needs to be better, right? However, Philly being first, Tim, that's kind of got me like, boy, oh boy, that could be an issue, right? That's one of the strengths of their game is when they get inside the 20, they're going to punch that thing in for 6. We've really got to key in on that, spend some extra time this week in practice trying to put and formulate together a game plan to stop their red zone efficiency.
I agree 100%. And, that's on our defense, right? One other name on that injury report that I forgot to mention is Colby Wooden being a thumbs up, according to his own words.
Right.
He's ready to go, which is a good sign because Colby Wooden's probably playing the best damn football he's played in his career right now. And we're going to need all hands on deck, especially in the red zone against that Philadelphia offense. It's like Matt said in the presser earlier, right? You want to stop the tush push. Don't put them in a situation to run it.
Right.
Let's limit this. Let's put them in situations where it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 4th and 5. Be stout on the defensive end. And then when it comes to red zone scoring offensively, we got to step our game up. It's nice that we're still teetering around top 10, but we need to improve and punch that ball in the end zone, like you said, Clay. We can't be sitting here kicking field goals or, trying to go for it on 4th and 8 in the red zone because we screwed the pooch a couple of times. We need to go in there and hammer it home.
Got to do it, man. So again, quick little recap. Offensive red zone scoring percentage, touchdowns only. Philadelphia is first in the National Football League at 85%, and they were 100% in that last win over the Giants, okay? The Packers, 11th at 62.8%. They dipped down to 50% over the last 3 games, and they were only at 20% that last game. Coach Lynn says, I missed the gold zone.
I love gold. You remember that?
Yeah, isn't it cool, Coach, that when a coach puts emphasis on something specifically and you get complete buy-in from the team, it's amazing how it can really move the needle. Now, you got something very similar in the turnover, what we call the ball king this year, right? But it's a little bit different. The year before, when they went to the gold zone, they struggled in the red zone, right? So it's like, let's make something fun here. Last year, Matt LaFleur, Jeff Hafley knew they had an uphill battle because the amount of turnovers they had last year, Tim, specifically the interceptions, that's so rare that a team has that many the way they did. So they knew, let's put extra emphasis on taking the ball away, punching the ball out, that type of thing, because we know the chances of duplicating that success back-to-back years is really, really slim. I love that they put that extra emphasis on it. But with this situation here, though, with the red zone scoring, let's go to defense. Defensive red zone scoring percentage, touchdowns only once again. So this is how effective your defense is at keeping the opponent out of the end zone once they reach the 20-yard line, right? Philadelphia, Tim, third best in the league at only 46.1%. They've got a great red zone. They get the best red zone offense in the league and a top 3 red zone defense in the league. So when you look at some of the analytics, you look at the grades, the numbers, you look at Philly and go, how are they 5-2 or whatever their record is, 6-2, whatever it is? How do they have that good of a record and the other numbers are down? Specific situations like this, what we call situational football, understanding when you get in the red zone, man, the money is on the table. And here's what worries me a little bit. Green Bay's red zone defense, 63%. That's 23rd in the league. So when you look at the numbers, and yes, we've got the top pass defense in the league in terms of yards per pass attempt. You're looking good. Run defense dipped after last week. We're down to 9th now, so we're still a top 10 run defense, right? And then the scoring defense, I think we were top 10 as well. You look at that and go, okay, we're a top 10 defense. But once again, situational football, red zone efficiency on defense, 63%, 23rd best in the league. This really does spell success for Philly, although what happened the rest of the year doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen on Monday night. They better be putting emphasis on it over at 1265.
I agree 100%. The best defenses tighten the hell up when their back's against the wall, right? You get across midfield, you see, top defenses starting to tighten up, try and force that long field goal. But, when it comes down to the red zone, that's when you absolutely have to execute down there. That's one of the rare occurrences where I do like some of these cover one man looks that half mixes in, like when you're in that red zone situation, you're backed up against the goal line, you got a short field. You're trying to be a little more aggressive. It's kind of been 50-50 working out for us, but it's no secret that the best defenses in football, the closer you get to knocking on the door in that red zone, the best defenses tighten up. And I think we have the talent and we have the staff and we have the scheme to do it. We just got to execute out there and not give up them tutters. Let them kick field goals on us all day, but don't give up the tutters.
Yeah, we got Emilio joining us now. Emilio, I want to get your take on this. This is something you talk about all the time, like red zone efficiency and also controlling the penalties. I just pointed out to everybody, offensive red zone scoring percentage, touchdowns only. So this removes that noise of the field goals that are kicked. Philly is number 1 in the league. Green Bay is 11th. Okay. And then on defense, preventing touchdowns in the red zone, Philly is 3rd best. That's where Green Bay struggled on defense this year. 23rd at 63%, man. We got to get the red zone efficiency cranked up here, man.
Yeah, and I think that's something, perfect that you could have in practice. Okay, it's going to, we always talk about iron sharpens iron all the time. You get everybody out there. All right, the offense needs to be more efficient and better in the red zone, and the defense needs to be able to stop that. I like Tim's take there. You get a cover one look here and there. You can, you can press them. You have that extra defender as that back line. You can't, they can't go higher than that. You have got a lot of faith in X, and, the range of him and Williams. And we have the linebacker speed, I think, to run all that. It's just we need to hammer down, right? If you're here, tied for 23rd there, we need to be top 15, top 10, as we're closing into the end of the season. You're going to have to tighten up. Yeah, we haven't given up a lot of points, but when we have, it was to Dallas and a couple of other high scores, and our losses are low scores. But again, the defense feels like they could probably hold them out, maybe just field goals in those games and things like that. So I do think that that's a necessity, and the offense needs to turn it up 100%.
Yeah, definitely. So again, red zone is one of those key points that the Packers are struggling at a little bit, right? Mostly on defense. So when we look at those numbers, understand you got the best pass defense in the league, all these things that we talk about all the time. Turnovers are down and red zone efficiency's down. That, what that screams to me? Probably going to lose some really, really close games that you had a chance to win. That's really what it comes down to. So
and that's what Hafley was saying in his presser too, though, right, Clay? Is that we had a lot of turnovers, but maybe not masking, but maybe that kind of filled in a couple of the blips in the defense from last year, and made them out to just be a little bit better. But is he about to hit it right here?
This is it. Yeah, this is him talking about the lack of takeaways this season. I love how he laid this out. Listen real close, guys, and hopefully the volume's good enough for you guys and gals who are listening on the pod as well. I love what he said here is like the fact that our defense is essentially what he's saying is the fact that our defense is ranked so high even without the takeaways, he's not looking at it like, oh crap, we got to fix this takeaway problem. He's
Right.
going, damn, look how good our defense has been.
Without
if we can get the takeaways,
Yeah.
holy cow, you're going to be an elite defense. So I love what he says here. Let's hear it. And it's a little bit long. Maybe I'll pause it in between a little bit and we'll chat about it. But here we go. Jeff Hafley at the podium earlier today.
You know, you spent all of the offseason talking about the takeaways, and here you are, you're 31st. You've had a couple here and there. Do you feel like you're making some headway there, or is it still a major concern for you?
No, we've had 3 takeaways in the last 3 games, so we're trending in the right direction. The other thing is, if you look back in the last 3 games, is we had the one that went under review, so we were closer there, right? The one on Keyshawn when he almost took the ball away. I believe that might have been the Arizona game. And then last week we had had the sack fumble. And they recovered it for a 6-yard gain, if you remember that one. Yeah, me too. And so we're getting closer. And I can look you in the eye and tell you that we are getting closer. We've had a takeaway in the last 3 games, and that's the step in the right direction. And I think if we continue to do that and hit them at the right time, I think it's going to help us out a lot. The impressive part is, last year at this time, I thought we were playing good defense, and I think we relied a lot on takeaways to hold people under 20 points or however many we were doing. This year, we're doing that and probably playing better defense, and we're not getting as many takeaways. So if we can continue and climb and get better just fundamentally in playing defense and add those takeaways, I think you're going to see a really dominant defense as we go, and that's the plan. But I see progress towards it, and I think our coaches are doing a really nice job emphasizing it. And I think we're starting to throw punches again, and I think we're getting more competitive. I think our corners in the last 2 games have been really competitive on routes, because even, now I'm thinking again, even their biggest pass of the day, CV was right there. And I mean right there. Like, I kind of jumped up in the booth. You probably didn't see it because you were looking for Downard. But he was right there. And that's like, we're close. So he's going to make that play the next time. So I am encouraged. I'm not happy with the number at all, but I'm encouraged in the way we're trending.
If you guys were wondering what we were laughing about there, he was talking about Ryan Downard, right?
Yeah.
And Ryan Downard's usually in the box. I think Jason Wilde asked him, like, hey, where was RD? Why wasn't RD up there in the box with you or whatever? And Jeff Hafley made a big joke out of it, like the fact that they noticed it, right? So it's hilarious. He said, you probably didn't notice it because you were looking for RD. You were looking for, Downard. But just he's so witty, man. He's so good at what he does. But, yeah, in terms of the takeaways, once those start to come, obviously, you want to continue to emphasize it, right? You've got to continue to harp on it. Once they start to come, this defense could truly be elite. In the meantime, need to get that running game going on offense so we could play what we call complementary football. What do you think about that, Emilio? We'll let you go first, and I'll get your take too, Tim. I just love hearing Hafley talk ball. It's so genuine. There's nothing fake about him. You can tell he loves the game. He loves figuring out the game. You can tell he's a problem solver. Just so glad he's our defensive coordinator, man.
Yeah, like Jen said here, could listen to Half all day. Absolutely. He's and it's just his energy, his excitement, the way he explains things, the way his mind triggers when something gets triggered. For him to think about it. And yeah, you going over the defense, they've been turning it up. Right, we've had a loss. Okay, fine, but they've gotten better. Mike has been getting more snaps. He understands. Every time I see Micah when he's not on the field, if he's not getting a breather right at the edge of the sideline, that dude has an iPad in his hand and is swiping through every bit of film he can to see what he can do to get better. Because Hafley talks about it every week. They have a Micah plan, each team does, that they're going to go ahead and approach him with that's going to be completely separate from any normal defense that they've seen. So Hafley now needs to start pre-prepping for the Micah defense that everyone's, going to try to hit him with. I think that the defense is making those adjustments, getting better. And I think it was Tim, you were talking earlier about Kobe, or maybe it was Clay, but get the general back out there. We need that man out there. It was tough without him. And I'm sorry, Kobe, for even considering you on the bubble at the beginning of the year.
Right. All of us, we all look stupid, right?
That dude is he's the heart of that interior that we need right now. I want to see D. Watt tear it up, but right now we need Kobe and get LVM back out there, and this defense can really get humming.
Absolutely. To your point too, you see Hafley adjusting his approach. We talk about, the cheetah package and, Micah getting lined up in different spots, not just coming off the edge, getting creative. It's gonna really we're going to see the culmination of all of this at some point. Hopefully it's Monday night against the Eagles, because we need this win big time at home in prime time. But one of the things that stood out to me with Hafley's presser there is, you know, you can't tell me that this guy doesn't love his players.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's quick to mention, you know, the play with Keyshawn, you know, the play with CV. Hey, do you guys remember that? Oh, he was in his hip pocket. He was right there. I mean, this is a coach that will go to bat for his players and wants to put them in a position to be successful. And, you know, really when it comes to, you know, the ball king and that mentality of, you know, always go after the ball, always punch it out, you know, sometimes that can bite you in the ass, right? You're trying to play the ball and you're not wrapping up. You're not making the tackle. So I think we're going to see more of that aggressivity towards the end of these plays when guys get stood up and you know you want to punch in and rip at that ball. That's great. But play fundamental defense and get the stops when we need it. That's the main thing. And you know the turnovers are going to come. It will happen. You just got to play within the scheme and play fundamentally sound for sure.
Yeah, I love what you said there too. It made me think of the Lombardi quote. What was it? He said, "Battles are won in the hearts of men, and once you've won their heart, they'll follow you anywhere."
That's right.
It's so true, man. Like people don't care what you know until they know that you care. Period. Case closed. That's just the way. It's the way human nature works. So, again, that's just kind of a breakdown of what Hafley had on it. And I love that he said it about Carrington Valentine. We're all seeing it. Yep. I mean, he is just on. There's so few plays that you look up and go, Val got burnt there, right?
He's a grown ass man now, and
he's always in a spot to make a play. And man, if he'd have picked that pass off, we probably win that ball game again.
And even on that Tech catch, Clay, he pulled it. Tech just had strong hands, pulled
yeah.
It.
That was Ted McMillan just being Ted McMillan on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Ed Madden.